That's maybe the thing that's most impressive about this new console generation. Is you can throw the most challenging game that exists at the machine and it's still whisper quiet, and both of them. Like, the fans are never louder than the quietest library whisper.
Oh, wow. There you go. That's cool.
Yeah. See if that's still the case in like 4 years when it's all gummed up.
I finally did the thing where I got a game for my PS5 that like it's worthy of. And I got Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
And it ruled. I don't know. I played the holy fuck out of it. Got all the weapons, level up most of the weapons, beat the shit out of the game. It's good. It's really pretty. I don't know, man.
It's nice and concise.
Yeah.
It was good.
The voice actor who plays like Zircon Jr. is the same dude who does Invader Zim.
Mm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I love how over the top the voice acting is, particularly the villains.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Evil laughs. Best evil laughs of the year, Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, Dr. Nefarious is an absolute treasure.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I am looking for weird game of the year categories that we can use to give credit to games that won't win other categories. Things like Best Evil Laugh would be sweet.
Yeah.
So if there's a game that you really want to recognize that has something very unique and cool about it, let me know. Not right now.
You could, yeah. No, I'm gonna shoot it. I already got one. Cooking.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah. See what we got.
We will see what we got because this is Press X, the podcast. It's the podcast from your friends at cogconnected.com. That's where we write for. That's what we make videos for. That's what we play the video games for. James Paley, how are you at playing the video games?
Just so good. I've been playing so many video games to the detriment of all other areas of my life. You know, the huge.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
When you look back over the last 10, 11 months and realize there's 50 to 60 games I probably should have played this year.
I was going to say 5, but 50 is also a good number.
There's probably 50.
Yeah.
It's unreasonable, but there's probably a very, very lengthy list of games that I probably should have touched. And I won't. Probably ever.
Yeah. Just brush them with the tips of your fingers.
They will exist on the list of shame for the rest of time.
Yep.
A lot of games on that list, let me tell you. Rhett, how are you?
Good. I've still got my copy of Resident Evil 6 sealed, sitting on the shelf, waiting to be played from 2013, it was. Yeah. One day. But yeah, I'm doing great.
Fantastic.
A lot better than that unopened copy of Resident Evil 6 sitting on my shelf.
Word has it that game actually sucks ass if you open it too.
Right? Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It's fine enough in the state it's in right now. I feel like I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to. It's cool.
Your Resident Evil 6 experience will only get worse.
Yeah.
It's a nice museum piece,
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Damn. Is that copy of Resident Evil 6 sealed?
Sealed. Yeah. Take a look. Don't touch it, but it's sealed.
Yes, I've encased it in epoxy.
Nice.
Yeah. Some kind of resin
Minted
structure.
So it can harm no one else.
100%. Minted. 9.5. Clean.
I wonder if there's somebody
Worth-
out there that does score, or put ratings on old video games, like, how many
Well,
of
you
the
mean
edges are bent and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. But do you mean like stuff that nobody gives a fuck about? Because obviously there's people out there doing it for. If you got a fucking sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna come out professional. He's gonna professionally grade that, etc. Are you talking about your run of the mill, your run of the mill bullshit?
Generally.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm talking about run-of-the-mill bullshit. I mean,
Like,
as a rule.
There's somebody out there that would pay $3 to $4 for that copy
Yeah.
of Resident Evil 6.
that's what I'm saying. Who's determining? So my copy of Resident Evil 6 is worth $9, but this dude, his is worth $8.50. Where does that 50 cents, come out of?
It sat in the sun a little too long. The
I think-
colors are a little faded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
Holy shit, who's been playing video games and not just leaving them in the sealed box? Anybody? Who's been playing the things?
I've been playing the things.
Oh, thank God.
You didn't like our bit? You didn't want to keep going with that bit?
All the roads that it led down, every path we could walk upon was treacherous and featureless at the same time somehow. Listen, I'm not gonna fucking strangle this metaphor too much harder, but the point is, video games.
I like video games. A video game that I really like is Forza Horizon 5. It's goddamn good.
Jesus Christ, it looks good.
Yeah, looks like a 4K camera crew just followed some fucking race cars around, as opposed to like a game,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it does have the two modes. We've got performance mode that is what anybody who wants to play the game will play it in, and quality mode, which has a lot of motion blur. A lot of motion blur. It looks great when you're stopped.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it looks amazing.
It's very much one of those. It's another one of those, and it's the best one of those they've made. Mexico's great. Lots of biomes, lots of stuff to do. Never running out of events or challenges or stunts or collectibles to pick up and complete. And
Coke to run?
I haven't run any Coke yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I did drive a Piñata float off a mountain. That was good.
Oh, so that probably was some sort of Narco Piñata.
Probably.
Yeah.
It probably busted open at the bottom and people had had a time.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
But yeah, it does a really nice job of funneling you from event to event without telling you what you have to do. A lot of the events will do, if there's like a sprint race from A to B, you'll finish that race, and there's another one that's just down the road that you could pick up and go somewhere else. So you don't find that you're backtracking all over the map all the time, even though that is hilariously fun because they got a lot of mountains in Mexico, as it turns out, and you can drive off of them. So that's infinitely more interesting than the English countryside, as much as I enjoyed Forza Horizon 4 as well.
Yeah.
Great driving. And they've really got that fine balance nailed, where it's kind of arcadey, it's also kind of simmy. You can tune the car, you can do stuff to your car to affect how it feels, and it's right on that knife edge, and it always feels really good in all the various modes, whether you're drifting or you're racing or you're off-roading or whatever it is you're doing. A lot of fun. I think some people will buy an Xbox because of it. Probably not as many as they might like. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great racing game.
can't wait. Can I ask, which camera do you play with?
The far chase camera.
Chase cam, okay.
I want to see the car.
Sure, fair enough.
I want to get in a McLaren and watch the flaps doing the things as you're braking and all that shit.
Yeah. I feel you. Does Forza 5 though have like a lot of camera editing options? Usually with racing games they'll give you like, you can move the camera pretty much anywhere you want. At least in the ones over the past few years. Yeah, I've been curious about that.
I don't think I've checked that. The settings menus seem pretty in depth, so potentially I'd have to get back to you on that, though.
So. Yeah.
I'll include it in the review, which will be live when this podcast goes live.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, let me know, because for the anybody that's into sim racing, especially if they drive in cockpit view, it's very, very nice to have those sorts of options, so you can move up, down, back, forwards, depending on the car.
Yeah, I could see why that'd be a thing. I hate driving inside the car when you can see the hands that are not yours driving around.
Yeah.
I always feel like I want a wider field of view if I'm going to be in that setting. But anyway.
Absolutely.
Oh, best feature in the entire game is you can have the game call you by a nickname.
Huh.
And, there's a big long list of regular names, and there's a big long list of nicknames.
Nice.
And there's some really weird ones. I've had the game calling me Bromeo for quite a while.
Nice.
Bro Romeo.
Nice.
It was Master Chief for a bit.
Master Chief?
Master Chief.
Okay.
Hey, Master Chief. There's a road racing event over here you might like. Yeah, thank you. Spartan 117 will be right there. Really good. One of the best features. Anyway, we can talk about another game now.
All right. I played Mario Party Superstars for a while.
And how was it, James?
It was extremely 7 out of 10. I don't know what to tell you.
As Mario Party as a Mario Party game could be?
Yeah, okay, here's the deal. You got maps from the first 3 games you can go into, and they look modern, which is important because for context, every time you start one of the maps, they show you a couple of still frame screenshots of what the maps look like back in the day, and you're like, ugh.
The first one came out on N64, the first few.
That is correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
So they blew.
Yes. And it's all the same mini games that you remember from back in the day as well. So those have all been updated and shined up and looking hot. So if you played a lot of the first 3 Mario Party games, you're going to be like blown away by how amazing everything looks and how cool and smooth everything is. But if you didn't play a ton of them, then it's just more Mario Party with slightly different rules than you're used to. Some maps, the star moves every time you collect one. Some maps, the star moves every time you hit an event space. Some maps, the star just don't really move. And you get into some wacky nonsense. Yeah. One thing of note that showed up in the news, I think, when it was first discovered by players, there's a Tug-of-War minigame. In order to win said Tug-of-War minigame, you have to spin the holy shit out of your analog stick, which got so bad that players back in the day would get blisters on their palms. Yeah. And they put a warning up, like, hey, don't do this. Also, there's literally no other way to win. So good luck, I guess. Also, if ever there was such a thing to accelerate the onset of Joy-Con drift, it's that fucking minigame. So that's cool. Which, by the way, is a thing, even with the Nintendo OLED model, they haven't fixed. So get ready for that.
Really? Do you already have drift?
No, not yet, but you can probably at some point.
You can feel it coming. Mario Party is very much like, whose line is it anyway? Everything's made up, and the points don't matter. Because you can be 4 to 5 stars ahead, and you know that some contrived bullshit is going to take that win away from you at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's not so bad sometimes, but like the 2 bonus stars are randomly selected from a long list of things they could award bonus stars for. And so you'll be like, oh, I might be a star behind, but I've been kicking the shit out of these losers in the mini games. That don't matter. They're not going to pick a minigame star this time. Why would they do that? To help you win? No, fuck you. You don't get that. You don't get anything. You get nothing, all right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of... It's kind of where Mario Party's at. But again, if you like stayed up all night playing the older games, like with your friends back in the day, because I know lots of people did, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be beautiful. You're gonna be thinking, geez, this is great. And the fact that there's variable rule sets depending on which map you're in, it's pretty cool. And you can also, and here's another thing I think is pretty great. Also, you can just play just the mini games. If you want, you can just skip all the wander around the map doing all that crap. You can just hold little super fast minigame tournaments, just blaze through all that. Really determine who's the actual talented player here.
You mean do the things that you want to do instead of watching that stupid wheel spin and pick the thing that you already have unlocked instead of the 6 to 7 question marks that you've yet to unlock repeatedly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can use the coins you earn in all the modes to buy stickers, which are really dumb, but I like them anyway. Because then you just whenever you're playing online or with friends or whatever, and then somebody does something incredibly cruel or stupid or awful, you can scroll through your list and pick the sticker that expresses your sentiments perfectly, instead of screaming at somebody over a chat mic, like a live chat or whatever, and then making things weird that way. You can just have Toad being all like, what? And just load that one up 7 times in a row, instead of blowing somebody's eardrums out with your barely contained murderous anger because they screwed you quite royally in the manner of Mario Party's traditions. It's
been there.
It's nice.
There.
Can you still hammer a button repeatedly to make your character do their exclamation?
I don't think I tried that.
You should try that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good if you can just really spam it. It's great for everyone else who's playing.
I'm sure it's amazing. So yeah, if you want that pure, perfect, insufferable, exhausting, backstabby Mario Party experience, uncut and unfiltered, right down the pipe, then Mario Party Superstars is your jam.
Okay. Brett, what have you been doing?
Deathloop for me.
I've also been playing Deathloop.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. Like a lot of others that I've read opinions from, I don't really know what's going on right now. I'm a few hours in. I don't really have any idea what's going on, but it's really good. Just smooth, quick, satisfying gunplay. solid animations. It's kind of got almost like a Dying Light feel to it, where you're in first person and you can like scale, and I don't want to say you can scale anything, but you can scale a lot of shit. Like if you need to go up, you can probably find a way to go up. So yeah, it's just well made. It's cool. Been having a good time with it.
It's very much made by the people who made Dishonored.
I never played Dishonored.
Okay, well, it's a lot like Dishonored.
Helpful, all right.
I think they did not do themselves any favors with the way this game was marketed, because it's not what they advertised it to be, or not what I took out of the advertising, which is that
me too.
It's very much a roguelite. You're going to die a million times.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you do die. But the main thing that they glossed over is that the loop will repeat whether you die or not. So a lot of the game is about going to the right areas at the right times of day. There's distinct pieces of the day. There's like the morning, there's the afternoon, there's the evening, there's the night. Going to the right places at the right times of day to get specific contained missions done and progress the greater story. And every time you get to the end of a cycle, and you can spend as long as you want in each portion of that day, it doesn't progress like you have 5 minutes in this area of the game. Once you get to the end of the day and you decide, I'm going to finish this mission in the night, then the day restarts, and that's where the roguey bits come in. You'll have none of your guns. You'll have none of your upgrades and things. So you're really building the loadout that you want every time you repeat the loop. And as you get better at the game, you start to understand where you can pick up various things and plan your route through the missions and through the day in a way that makes you powerful for what you need to do. It is really, really good.
Yeah. Really solid animation too. One thing that struck me immediately was the way that Colt moves around and like the weight of the character. Yeah. You can, when you move side to side, you kind of feel it in the controller, and like you feel it when he moves his gun around, and yeah, it's interesting. It just feels really, really good to play. Sprinting, sliding, sprinting, climbing. It's all really seamless. Fucking man.
Also surprisingly funny and well written.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say, is that's probably at the end of the year I'll be voting for Colt for character of the year. He's hilarious.
His voice actor is the bomb.
He's killing it.
It's so good.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Everybody's really good, but him especially, he's just killing it.
Yeah, could not say enough good things about this game, and please, dear God, let Sony or Bethesda or someone decide to tweak how they've been marketing this thing and put it back out there, because it deserves way more eyeballs than it's getting. It may very well be the best game of the year.
Yeah, it'll definitely be in the conversation. Another thing that I took away from the initial trailers of the game was that I thought that it was very much a thing that you had to do as quickly as possible. Yeah. You had to be sprinting through, but no, it's not like that at all. In each section, you've got as much time as you want to go and explore every nook and cranny. Time will only advance when you move to the next area, essentially. So yeah, it's not a game where you feel pressed for time. You can go as slow as you want.
And there's mobility upgrades, and there's sneakiness, and there's hacking, and there's a lot of ways you can approach every situation. Very flexible. Yeah. Very much like Dishonored. But Dishonored was always a little rough around the edges. This is super polished.
So polished. Gunplay is just so satisfying. Each shot is just fucking heavy. Like you feel the bullet leave the chamber of the gun. It's just got such a satisfying like clank to it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
And a lot of that is the down to the DualSense, I think.
There's
a lot going on with the DualSense in this game.
Yeah.
to the point that the controller dies relatively rapidly, like noticeably faster, because so much is happening in the controller.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I can't wait to finish the stuff I'm working on so I can go play more Deathloop, honestly.
Yeah. I had to power through the end of Judgment so I could start playing Deathloop because I really wanted to play it. But as a quick sidebar, I could not recommend Judgment anymore. If you're listening to this,
Judgment
go play
or
that game.
Lost Judgment?
Judgment, the first one. Because if you haven't played the first one, don't go play the second one. You really do want to play the first. It is just incredible. It's got one of the best stories I've ever seen in a game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's written really well, like a Kojima story almost. Not quite as tight, but But I digress. Sorry.
Whoa. You can call a Kojima story tight?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well thought out,
Tight.
maybe, but
Hold on.
Full to bursting with stuff, sure. Like tight at the belt, like this is gonna fly the fuck off. That kind of tight. I could see that.
Tight once you've played every game 20 to 30 times.
okay.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe a different word, but I understand what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Because Lost Judgment, that's the second one, right? Did that already come out, or is it coming out?
Yes, it did. And that is another one that I would really recommend we play that before the end of the year, because I think that one could potentially be in the discussion of the top 10. I really do think it could be in the discussion of the top 10. It got great reviews, and I think you guys would agree.
We're running out of weeks, fellas.
Yeah.
You guys might get me on Deathloop. Like I might leap into that shit, even though I have like kind of a lot of stuff on the go right now.
Yeah.
Well, not to pile on, but Deathloop is on sale everywhere right now. It's like $30-$40 off. It's a good time to get on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. It's really good.
Fuck, so good.
You know it's not good. And still not good. Fallout 76.
Oh.
Is this turning into a Red Dead Redemption 2 thing with you? Is this something we're going to have to like talk to you about? Like I feel like Fallout 76 has come up like a lot more than I expected it would have overall with you, Paul.
I know.
The game was a comical disaster.
Yeah, but
The likes of which we rarely see.
Yeah, but we were talking about it months back, and I thought to myself, did they fix it?
Right.
No.
Okay.
Hilariously, no, they didn't.
Walk us through the process, Paul. Like, what specifically still totally bum jumped about this game?
Yeah.
Okay, so to their credit, there are NPCs now.
Excellent.
There is now a better story that you can follow through. It's very Fallout. That would be great. If this was a single player game that didn't rely on servers for everything. And the main problem with this game, and a problem that has been a problem since the very beginning, is everything you do has a slight delay to it. You shoot that super mutant, they might not die for a second and a half. You try to pick up those bottle caps. You probably have to hit the button several times because you're not sure if you've picked them up and the server hasn't responded yet. It's just so disjointed and it makes it not fun to play. And it's a shame because the map is really good. The map is excellent. Don't play Fallout 76.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about my continued decision to not do that.
Yeah, I deleted it again. I played it for about an hour and then I deleted it again because hey.
It's like a fucking 80 gigabyte download.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm uncapped. What do I care?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you,
no.
you build a house, you burn it down. You build a house, you burn it down. It's good.
You know, it's slightly better than Fallout 76.
Hmm.
Riders Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's that Ubisoft game. That's Assassin's Creed without the killing and mountain bikes instead.
Okay. Only slightly better than Fallout 76?
It's better than Fallout 76. This is
Okay.
another 7 out of 10 game for me.
Okay.
Mark reviewed it for the site. He liked it a little more. Gave it an 81. I'm okay with that. It's pretty fun sometimes. It has a lot of jank, and jank that is not really repeatable or consistent that you can get used to. So, for example, there's a kind of a trials riding set of stunts where, you know, you've got to ride across this narrow thing and you've got to jump across on your mountain bike. For some reason, in these sections, the camera y-axis would just switch for no explainable reason. Because I'm an inverted guy. So I always make sure to go in and set the camera to inverted because that's how I like it.
Okay.
And like halfway through this trial ride, I'm like, why am I looking at the sky? I don't understand. I'm controlling this the same way. And then I realized it was backwards. I went in the menu and looked at it, and it was still inverted. But it had just flipped for no explainable reason. And this happened consistently the whole time I was playing this game. I don't understand what the bug could possibly be that would cause this to happen.
It was made by Ubisoft. That's the bug.
That's the bug.
Yeah. And Ubi. Like, I love y'all, but JFC, you guys release a lot of 7s.
Yeah.
It's like everything that comes out these days from y'all is a 7. Far Cry was all right. 6. It was all right. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's other stuff too. Like there are literally thousands of other character avatars all over the map. They are everywhere. And it sounds like almost all of them are ghosts of actual things people have done and not necessarily people who are doing that thing at this time.
Oh.
Which makes it really inconsistent who you can and cannot run into. The collision detection makes no sense. You can be in a race and clip through 75% of the racers only to have someone run you off the road. And there's no way to tell. So that's fun.
It's not a good system.
No.
That really doesn't sound like a 7 out of 10 problem, Paul.
Yeah, but when it works, it is very good. Like, the mountain bike riding feels really good. The skiing feels really good. The trick system is fun. And you have to play the online mode. If you want to get a giraffe suit that you will ski around in, you got to play the online mode. You can't do the Zen offline mode and get that stuff. So,
Got to play with manual landing as well.
Manual
Don't
landing.
rob yourself. Don't rob yourself of the experience. I know it's tough at first, but turn manual landing on and you will feel so much better when you start to get the feel for things.
Yeah. Super satisfying.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how closely related this game is to 2019's Steep.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the sequel to Steep. And Steep's
Yeah.
awesome.
Steep was good, but from what I've played and seen from riders, it just seems so much better. You got all the different biomes, new like vehicles, new ways to get around. Is there a jetpack in Steep?
No.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, there's a rocket pack. There's a rocket bike. Rocket Bike is
bike,
pretty
too.
good.
Nice. Can it fly?
It's like falling with style. It's very Buzz Lightyear, but yes,
Right,
All right.
you know,
That's cool.
I'm okay with that.
it's such a mixed bag. It's such a
Do you
mixed
think that
bag.
this is one that could potentially hang around the 10 spot, 9 spot on the list this year?
Absolutely not.
No, okay.
Not a hope in hell.
That's fair. Yeah.
And the one thing that pushes it over the line, in my opinion, and Mark rightly called this out in the review. The introduction is the most cringeworthy hour in the history of video games.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. They have leaned so far into the bro culture, and everybody's on their steez, and their stoke level is 1,000, 1,000% of the time. And every line that comes out of a character's mouth is the most cringy bullshit you've ever heard. And it's happening constantly. It's constantly telling you how fun everything is, how extreme everything is, and how stoked you should be. God. Maybe
Sounds exhausting.
yeah, I don't. The more I'm talking about this, the less I think I would have given this something in the 7s. This is a 6.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this does not sound like a 7 out of 10 conversation we're having about Riders Republic.
Love the concept, execution lacking.
Yeah. Okay. Couldn't stick the landing. Should not have turned on manual landing mode.
Yeah, they should have turned on auto landing for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
Anyway, James, what else have you been up to? Or Rhett? Either one of you. What's new? What's up?
Well, I did play an Oculus Quest air guitar game, which is basically just Guitar Hero without the peripheral, called Unplugged.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's basically exactly what you're imagining. It uses hand tracking, so there's no controllers
Oh.
of any sort.
Oh.
You have one here, you got one here, and you strum and you move your fingers and your frets. For the most part, and this is important, you don't have to do too much crazy finger shit. So you can just sort of like hold them in one spot with a certain amount of fingers up. I'm going to tell you right now, this thing I'm doing right now, the two, like the horns, really hard to just like switch into when you're in the middle of a song. Oh, damn. Or like this one with just like the index and the middle finger down. That one hurts. Also, in order to grab the base of it so you can move it up and down and adjust your position, you have to do the hand tracking select motion, which is the same throughout all of Oculus Quest. You're using hand tracking, which is you start with your fingers like this, out apart, and then you pinch together. And this is like a click of like a mouse or like a button or whatever. It's fucked. It's fucked every time. It's always clumsy. It's never good. I hate that fucking motion. I'm using the original Oculus Quest. Perhaps Oculus Quest 2 doesn't have this problem. Perhaps the pinch, the essential click motion isn't as bad. But it's like anytime you have to like adjust the guitar or like grab a thing or do a thing like that, it's fucked. But, grab the pick, Once you're in there playing, it's fine, right? You just move, and the rest of the hand tracking is great. It can tell you you're doing one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. Whatever motion you're doing or whatever position you want your hands to be in, it catches it pretty effectively. So that's cool.
What's the soundtrack like?
Sort of a mishmash of rock music from the last 2 decades. leaning more into the earliest part of the last 2 decades. So like a lot of like late 90s, very early 2000s stuff.
Okay.
A lot of like a lot of like big ticket bangers, like the sort of things you're like, oh, I know that song. Like that's the big push.
Oh, okay.
You're just like, oh, I've heard that one a million times. There's a couple that I was like, ooh, I'm not familiar with that one, but like most of it was very like, oh yeah, they're playing the hits. And they had the lead singer of or the lead guitarist of Steel Panther, be your instructor, teach you how to play the game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. I wanted to look up and see because they had this breakup song. It's really funny. They're a comedian. They're a comedy glam metal band. So I was doing some Googling about Steel Panther, which kind of bummed me out. Just I'm not gonna get too much into it, but like that second thing that Google autofills when you look up Steel Panther is controversy. That's all I'm gonna say. Real bummer shit. The game is it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitly can't.
Oh, you looked it up, did you?
Yeah, you definitely can't talk about that on the podcast.
You sure can't. And there's a like a not like a Vanity Fair. But there was some like some big magazine did an article about them in 2016, and it was like, oh guys, okay, that's cool. Seem like cool guys. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. But anyways, he's not there. He's not around very much. He just teaches you how to do the things and whatnot. You just sit in this weird formless void that vaguely resembles a stage, and then you play the notes as they come to you. It's cool, you know.
It's like,
again, like Mario Party, real 7 out of 10 conversation we're having here.
so like Beat Saber for guitar, but maybe not as good.
It Unplugged would benefit from more of a like, if you play Guitar Hero and want to keep doing that, Unplugged is your jam, because it really appreciates you having some of those skills to transfer over.
Okay.
I am not a rhythm game connoisseur, and you really feel that even in the first set of songs. Where it's like, what do you mean you didn't spend a decade playing rhythm games? What were you doing with your life?
Really, you just skipped every rhythm game out there?
I mean, anything that required a peripheral, I did not fuck with. Because I'm like,
okay.
I'm, you know, we're just like, I'm not buying some friggin' guitar for this.
That's fair.
But, you know, I did play some rhythm games, just not the amount that Unplugged would prefer that I had played before starting it up.
Side note, if you mod Beat Saber, you can put like custom songs and stuff in there. And it makes the game way better, because then you can, you know, get a bunch of Caro Caro Bonito songs and Beat Saber that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Truly, anything that allows you to bypass the incredibly expensive song packs is
Oh my God,
a real bonus in my books.
Yeah.
Highway fucking robbery. Anyways.
Yeah, it's a real throwback to the days of the early iTunes store. God. Can't believe we used to pay for songs. What the hell was that?
Well, either that or you just listen to the 30-second preview on repeat.
Pray that it's the best part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you have it then. Rhett, you play anything else?
Nintendo did release a surprise demo for Metroid Dread. Oh. And I got that and played it. And yeah, it's really fucking good. I'm going to have to get the full game. I agree with everything you guys were saying on the last show. Really good animation. It's way more cinematic than any other Metroid game as well that I've played. I like how you'll drop down into a new screen and there'll be a little cutscene with Samus dropping down a vent and then she lands and away you go. I don't know, it seemed more cinematic, got more of the Hollywood treatment this time around.
The little cutscenes actually serve a sort of purpose because they tend to only happen right before you're about to be in terrible danger.
Right.
So if it gets really cool looking, you're like, oh no.
Yeah. Look. But
it's
really
screen-filling boss time.
And tight controls. Really tight controls. Yeah. Once you get a hang of them, you're zipping around from left to right. Boom, boom. Yeah. Really fun.
Yeah. Yep. That one will definitely be in the end of the year conversation.
I'll have to play the full game because, I can see why that one will... I wouldn't be surprised if that one cracks the top 5.
Yep.
It's easily the best game to come out for the Switch this year. And if people were to argue that it's their favorite game on the system, I wouldn't argue. Shit plays very nicely.
Well, I mean, you haven't played Mario Party Superstars yet, Rhett. That's a
good point.
Strong contender for this year.
Good point. Yeah, still waiting on that. I need friends to play it with, so that's kind of what's holding me back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, this got depressing. And speaking of depressing, the Switch's N64 games?
Yeah. Oh. Yes, I was going to say, I actually did get access to that through the site, through the official channels. And I'm really curious. I'll probably have to get into it a little bit more on the next episode because I only just got access. But I think it's the online that is a lot of the really serious problem, to the surprise of no one. But just doing a test run of Mario 64, I was like, I don't know, man. Plays like Mario 64. It's fine. It's not legendary graphics. Some people have definitely pointed out, oh, these things look better or worse. But Operation Winback, for example, never played that in my life. Don't know what it's supposed to look like. I know it looks like shit now, but I think that's just because the game aged really badly. It's a third-person action game, and you can tell it's a 64 title because they rely really heavily on auto-aim, because trying to do that manually with the sticks would be a fucking nightmare.
I think,
but yeah, so there's a big Nintendo released the trailer, just going over the features and talking about the Nintendo 64 games, the Sega Genesis games, and what the service is going to cost. And people were not super happy. Then the service came out, and that trailer became the most downvoted video on Nintendo's YouTube channel. It's 105,000 dislikes the last time I checked. Because
will that affect their policy? Not in the slightest.
No, man.
Does that mean you've been playing with the Animal Crossing Wibbly Wobble?
I haven't. I'm not getting early access to the expansion. It's just
okay.
I'm just gonna get it when everybody else gets it. But I'm queuing it up. I'm doing the pre-download. As soon as it drops, by God, I'm gonna have some thoughts.
You gonna pick all the weeds on your island and prep, or just see what's happened?
I kind of have 1.4 million bells just in the bank. So, I don't know. I might do a little more prep, but not a lot, man.
Fair. Well, I'm sure Mr. Nook will have a bill ready in short order.
Yeah. That's actually something I'm really looking forward to. One of the reasons I stopped playing Animal Crossing, because I didn't have anything really important to spend my money on. I didn't have any debts to pay off. I didn't have anything like that to do. And if all of a sudden he's like waving around these huge expensive purchases in front of my face, I'm probably going to play until I can buy them all.
It's fair.
Like,
I understand.
Like, it's just like, it's a weird thing to think about and say out loud, but like, I'm kind of looking forward to being in the red with Tom Nook. It's just like
crippling debt. Sign me up.
Yeah. A little bit.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, I'm gonna run through as many of the games in the expansion pack as I can. Try to really get a feel for it. I did play Star Fox 64. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is shocking how much I remember from back in the day. Like, there's 2 routes you can take in the first stage. Mm-hmm. And I, without even realizing I was doing it, was hitting all the steps to get to the like secondary exit in the first stage. My hands just remembered when the rest of me didn't. It was like, oh, right, okay.
I would love to see a video with like under a minute of capture for each one of those games and your hot take 1 minute review. Like Operation Winback. It has a lot of auto aim, and boy, does it look like shit. This game sucks.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, something you don't really realize about Nintendo 64 games, and, like, PlayStation 1 games, too, but because of the limits of the hardware, a lot of the levels look really fucking barren. Like, there's just really, like, not a lot going on. You're just running around this, like, gross featureless void with some like chest high boxes and fences, and then a couple of guys will pop out around a corner and your gun will like drag itself to the center of their chest as you like fill them full of lead. You're like, oh, this is thrilling.
Also,
although it does have Sin and Punishment on it, the first one that we never like really got over here in North America. That game rules.
All right.
It's just a rail shooter with like and it's all in Japanese, so I have like no idea what's happening story-wise, but all the important shit is in English. It's like press the start button to skip, and like this is the menu on all the menu items. Like all that shit is translated. They just didn't like, none of the story is. So like I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. But these gross blocky polygonal models of these teenage girls are very intent on using these weirdly shaped guns to murder all these monsters.
I understand that compulsion.
Yeah.
The N64.
Yeah, so the expansion is very unpopular for extremely good reasons, many of which I will hopefully get to experience for myself. It's exciting.
Oh, what else is going on out there in the world? I know they canceled BlizzCon.
That's right.
That seems like the right call.
Yes. The stack, the baker's dozen lawsuits that they're dealing with right now has become sort of a PR nightmare for them.
You don't say.
Yeah. And so it sort of seems like maybe this isn't the time to be showing off your amazing shit you've been doing, because kind of the only thing they've been doing that's been in the news lately is they changed the name of McCree so he's not named after an unregistered sex offender, and they released Diablo 2 Resurrected, which I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's been a lot of blowback about that release.
Yeah.
There's like another, I was going to say, there's another hot take think piece article every week now, or it has been for a while, about the major problems and the bugs and the troubled features of this version of the game. But I haven't bought it, so I don't know.
Sounds like you're winning then. Avoiding more Diablo-related suffering is in your best interest, James.
It is.
Speaking of dick moves, apparently Ubisoft sends out emails to you if you've played Far Cry 6 and quit playing it.
Saying what?
Basically, the villain like writes you a little sternly worded note being like, "You only played for 6 hours. Come on, you lazy bitch. You can do better than that." But, you know, in the character's words, so they sound slightly more eloquent. But still, they're sending you emails being like, "You should play this game more." It's like, no. I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do themselves any favors by having the gator you can dress up be in the very beginning of the game. Like, you gotta save that. That's some top tier, legendary level nonsense. I want to play the game just so I can do that. Honestly.
I don't know, man. It sort of seems like you only need to play one Ubisoft open world game every couple of years.
Yeah.
And if you've already played one, you don't really need to go to Far Cry 6.
Yeah, but Far Cry is first person. That makes it a completely unique experience, James.
I mean, unless you're comparing it to the other 5 Far Cries.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
No, I guess not.
This one's... No, wait. Most of them are on islands. Okay.
Yeah. It's tropical. It's you versus a charismatic madman. You're working with a rebel army to take back control of the island. Am I still describing 5 of the 6 Far Cries?
Yes.
I fucking thought so. Okay.
God damn it.
Yeah, like you only need... Ubisoft is really not doing themselves any favors. They should only release like one of these dumb open world grocery lists every like year and a half or so, because people get oversaturated and they're just like, God, I just fucking did this. I don't need more.
But it's the only thing they know how to make at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Like, name something that's not that.
Are the Rainbow Six games still their own thing? They're not open world yet, are they?
I guess not.
Yeah.
Okay. Touche.
Yeah, that's kind of it, though. Even that, like, Phoenix energy drink RPG or whatever, it's just another open world grocery list with bladed weapons and colorful characters and just 100 different things on the mini-map for you to go check out. It's the same shit.
Rhett and I were talking...
Ubisoft...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Ubisoft truly is the Taco Bell of video game publishers. All the ingredients are interchangeable. You recognize them immediately. There's 5 of them.
Delicious Ubisoft Crunchwrap Supreme.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Rhett and I were talking about this before the cast, but that Halo Infinite campaign video came out not that long ago, and it sounds like it's a Far Cry game.
The fuck you say?
Honestly. there's narration over top of it, and I was like, okay, this sounds like there's an open world for Master Chief to play around in. And then they said, the Banished have set up shop on the Halo. They've set up outposts and strongholds that you can tackle in any order. It's a Far Cry game. And which maybe it could have worked had it come out when I assume they intended it to come out 3-4 years ago, when that formula still made sense. But god damn, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they've accounted for this and it is better than I'm picturing. I don't think it is.
No, I don't know, man.
There's like way stations where you go up to a thing and you get a Borderlands style menu where you pick the vehicle you want and it gets airdropped in right in front of you. Like, you want a warthog? Here's a warthog. You want a ghost? Here's a ghost. I swear, if there are arrows and Master Chief is picking up an epic assault rifle with a slightly better range and slightly worse handling, I don't know.
Like, they don't have to do that shit. Halo's got weapons. They're great weapons. You don't need to fuck with them. You don't. You can't build another arrow comparison engine. Borderlands and like Diablo and like all those other games kind of have a lock on that shit. It really sort of sounds like the Halo franchise is trying to do all this shit that we were messing around with like 10 years ago, but better, right?
Yeah. The other thing I have noticed is that between the multiplayer betas and the campaign video that they've shown, there's kind of only one design language. If you think back to the old Halo games, there was a lot of variety. You'd have a lot of different environments that you'd have to tackle and tactically take on. So far, we have seen this foresty mountain region, and it's all been that. All the maps that were in the multiplayer were kind of that. I just hope that I hope there's so much more.
The fact that they're releasing this game in 2 parts over the span of multiple months tells you right now that there fucking isn't. Like, you know there's not.
Uh-oh.
I'm still here. So anyways, yeah, Halo does look fucked. 2 parts. Here we go. 2 parts. 2 chances to completely fuck this.
They'll take both those chances. Don't you worry. They're gonna go for the gold, the real brass ring of putting their whole foot in it. You know.
The apologists would have you believe that a Halo campaign not including co-op is fine. And I'm here to tell you it's not fine. That is the definition of what Halo is, and not having it in the campaign at launch means she's coming in hot.
Because, like, of all the things to not be able to do at launch, co-op seems like a really weird thing to not be able to manage. Like, it's just 2 people in the same instance, right? Like, you might have to adjust settings, like people get somewhat harder or the challenge levels change slightly accordingly to the, for the presence of a second person, right? Or like, does having another person fuck up the like weird flimsy house of cards that is the loading environments? Like, everything that you're not looking at fucking dissolves into nothingness as soon as you're not looking at. Like, the game has no object permanence, so to speak. And so having a second person there just means that, like, there's nowhere for you to look away from. I don't know. I'm trying to, like, do the work for these fucking losers. I don't know what could possibly be so hard about this. And I mean that sincerely, because I'm not a game developer. I don't know shit about shit. But this seems weird.
It seems like that kind of functionality should be pretty fundamental to the engine you're working with.
Yes.
Can it handle it or can't it? And that this brand new shiny engine designed from the ground up to do this thing, that it can't do this thing. Oh no. Very, very worried.
Yeah.
But also so damn curious.
Oh, man. When's it coming out?
It was like December 8th or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
buddy. Oh.
Let's look.
Like, when's the first part of the Halo release coming?
Oh, November 15th. Nope. Nope. December 8th.
Oh.
Wait. December 8th. Yeah. Ah, well. What could possibly go wrong?
After the great cyberpunkening, possibilities are endless.
That's another piece of news we could chat about, is that they have pushed all their next-gen upgrades to 2022.
Yeah.
No shit.
I'm gonna sum that up for you right now. Of fucking course they did. Because what they're basically trying to do is... how do I describe this? Would our listeners be familiar with the very old movie from the late 80s, early 90s called Money Pit, starring Tom Hanks? They have a big, beautiful house, and it's completely falling apart, and they're like, oh, what a steal. We're just going to fix this thing up, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to spoil the ending for you. It was not amazing.
Yeah.
All right. They are trying to build a castle on top of a swamp, and they will succeed accordingly.
Well, at least, is this right? We're getting a Pikmin action RPG?
It's on mobile, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That was a misnomer on my part. When I wrote that note into the thing, what I mean is like, it's like Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
ARG, Pikmin, like you wander out into the world.
Got it.
And you find the Pikmins and you do Pikmin things. I think it's out right now. In some form on phones. And for the handful of diehard Pikmin fans out there, they're like, man, I really want more fucking Pikmin in my life. I'm about to like do some blood sacrifices to my chosen gods to get more Pikmin. Great news. It's this. So, it's like it's something, Yeah.
Okay. Less excited about that.
That's entirely fair. In better news, the second half of the Age of Calamity Hyrule Warriors DLC pack released on October 29th.
Okay.
And it's not I think it's just like some extra story content and some missions. But for me, it's amazing news because it's an excuse to go back and play more of the game, which I was unfairly fixated on for a much longer time than I originally thought I would be.
I mean, it turns out that Dynasty Warriors formula works really well if the content is something that you're interested in.
Yeah.
For you, that's Zelda. For other people, it's Persona Strikers. For other people, it's like One Piece. Those games are all identical, and there's one for everybody.
Yeah, and if you find your niche amongst their many games, by God, what a time you're going to have. It's amazing.
Well, so long as you know that the Age of Calamity DLC isn't going to make it into the top 10 this year.
No, Jesus, no. No, that is for me. That is for James. I don't expect the rest of the world to be all that into that. It made me very happy. That's what counts.
That is what counts.
Although, I'm thinking that I might pick up, on top of Deathloop, Inscription for the PC. And that, my friends, might be, at least in my own personal top 10 for sure. Everybody, anytime I see people talking about the game, they're using the phrase Game of the Year. Now, I know, mighty bold, big swing, right? Might just say something about the sort of people I follow online. But when I played the demo, I played through it 3 times.
Okay.
Just to like really make sure I got all I could out of it.
Okay. It does sound like a really kind of interesting, weird fusion of things. And curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna dive into that. I'm gonna dive into Deathloop, and then you will hear my words on all of that biz. And I guess Animal Crossing, the home designer thing, that as well. Any your thoughts on that too?
Yeah, that'll be in there somewhere.
Is that it? Is that a pod? Did we just do a pod?
Yeah, I guess. I was wondering if there was going to be more to your hand signals and stuff. It's probably great for the audio listeners.
Yes. For the people who don't watch the YouTube videos, I'm very bad at keeping still, and I'm constantly moving my body, specifically my hands, whenever I talk. I'm a fidgety dude.
And that's totally A-okay. It explains a lot of things, you know? Yeah, I guess that's a podcast. And you know, it might seem like the year's winding down, but it's not. It's really not. There's lots still on the horizon. Things like the new Call of Duty, Battlefield 2042, Shin Megami Tensei 5, those new Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Theoretically, Halo will come out.
Yeah.
There's lots to look forward to, so we hope you'll join us right back here next pod, 2 weeks down the road for Press X the podcast. And in the meantime, you can check out all the stuff that we do online at cogconnected.com. Or follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, follow us all those places. Hit all those buttons, do the subscribing, do the liking. You know, if you had a page, we'd subscribe to you. So
We would. We do it. We do it in a heartbeat.
absolutely. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.